got a dad joke, and he's outside. Let's see what he comes up with. There you go.
Yeah. Are you ready? Are you ready for today's dad joke?
Let's do it.
Okay. How do trees get on the internet? How do trees get on the internet?
I don't know, Code. How?
I don't know.
They log on. They log on?
Yep.
Yep. Well done. Yep. Right? Maris is a daddy.
Right there.
That got
one's
his,
shopping
that got
on
his label.
Zappos.
Oh, Maribel's into it.
If you have a dad joke for us, please, oh please, send it in to us. Good day at kmaxtv.com. Simple on dad joke. Give me credit for the joke because Lord knows I don't want it. All right, let's get to the business of hand. Would you look at our office this morning? This is so beautiful. But Ranger Rose, this really was your office for years.
It really was. For about a year and a half and quite a few years up the river.
Okay, your life. As a matter of fact, let's take a hike. Let's start walking. Your life is fascinating to me. There's part of Cody that thought maybe I should have been a ranger, especially after reading your book. So give the folks at home just like a little history lesson of you and how you got into the ranger service.
Well, it started with me being in college at San Francisco State, and they had a notice out on the board of one of my professors, and it said, anybody interested in being a park ranger, meet with me. And so I went out to Marin Headlands, which was at that time a brand new national park, part of Golden Gate National Recreation Area. And I did volunteer talks out there for 6 months, just talking about the natural history of the area. And then they offered me a park ranger job. So that's how I got started.
And then history.
Yes.
And then history.
Yes, all these years later.
How long were you with the service?
Well, national parks for several years, then state parks for about 30 years.
Wow.
And then back to national parks for about 7 winter seasons. So.
And you've had a life. I mean, this was quite a career. You got to go to the ends of the earth with this job.
Went all over Europe talking about California state parks and World Gold Painting Championships. And I worked in lots of different national parks and state parks throughout the West. So, yeah, it's been really a lot of fun.
Okay, so you put together these stories for this book, Tales of a Rogue Ranger.
Yes.
And I'm telling you once again, I embarrassed myself in the newsroom. I was laughing so hard at some of these stories. Now, did you keep a journal?
Yeah, I kept a journal in my head.
In your head?
I never had time to write the stories down as they were happening. I was too busy living them. But I said, I'm never going to forget some of these stories. I'm going to remember and write them down someday.
Well, I'm glad you remembered because there's some doozies in there. Okay, so let's give them one story before we have to go. Which one should we tell? Should we tell the goose story?
Oh, that's the funny.
I love the goose story.
That seems to be people's favorite. Yeah, it's called Wild Goose Chase, and that took place down at Folsom Lake, just downstream from here. And it was my husband was also a park ranger, Ranger Vern, and so there's a story about a group of people that are trapped on top of a picnic table. And around the picnic table, there's this great big goose that's just patrolling around and around. And every time somebody tries to step down, the goose attacks. And so Ranger Vern gets called, and they're like, report to the scene of an attacked goose and subdue the bird. And he's like, ha, 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 no problem. Walks out, sees 6 people trapped on a picnic table, says, I'll save you. Immediately, that goose bites him in the leg and draws blood. So then he's joined the group on top of the picnic table. Then the bird's patrolling again. It's like, what now?
Send more rangers to get the ranger and the other people?
Called for an animal control officer, but nobody was available. So finally, after about 10 minutes of that, he says, how long have you people been on top of this table? For over an hour. And my little girl is wailing, I have to go to the restroom. So Vern says, something has to happen. So he takes out his pepper spray, goes, everyone cover your eyes. And they're like, oh no. He goes, the goose runs to the lake and ducks its head in the water. And he says, run for your car. And they all race to the car, and the goose is chasing after him. It had recovered quickly. He escaped. Turned out it was nesting. It had a nest in the area, and so they closed off that area, located the goose and the nest, and relocated them. The terrifying reign of the killer goose had ended.
It's such a
About
good
a
story.
week later, there was a pot-bellied pig he had to deal with. That got left behind.
Let's pause on that one. That's another good one. All right, so we're going to take a hike with Ranger Rose this morning, talk about more tales from this book. Where can people get the book?
Oh, you can, probably the easiest place is on Amazon.
Okay.
You can get it in paperback or in Kindle. You can also get it at Barnes & Noble online or in the store. And also lots of little bookshops around Auburn. It's also available.
I'm telling you, it is a fun read. There's dozens and dozens of stories like that in this book. We'll tell you some more coming up. Back to you guys.
I need an illustrator or someone to do like a cartoon to go with the stories.
Oh, yeah, with the people on the table.
Watching a goose.
Wouldn't that not be great?
Oh, my gosh. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh, I need
Courtney
to see.
says we should get a cartoonist to animate these stories. That would be so good. That would be a riot.
so good
All right,
to
back
see.
to you guys. We got places to go. Bye.
Okay, go. It kind of sounds like what happens in the newsroom when we see
Yeah.
little mice